everybody? This is Cyrus Kirkpatrick with Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics, where we talk about life after death, astral projection, and other supernatural topics. And tonight, let's talk about the subject of dreaming and what dreams can really mean, because it's a confusing topic where so many different factors are coming into play. But before we get started, please hit the subscribe button. I depend on you to help me get past the YouTube algorithm of doom, which is designed to squash and destroy small channels and keep them from ever getting over their hump, unless they reach some kind of a weird mix of subscribes and length of views and engagement from users. So basically YouTube is actively working against me and other small channels to keep us from growing. But if you like what I do, you are the only way that I can get past that. So please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Okay, so to continue. So the topic of dreams can be a confusing one because dreams themselves are an extremely confusing situation. There is so much weird nonsense happening when we're asleep that it would definitely be inaccurate to take all dreams literally, or to think that all dreams are, as an example, evidence of some kind of astral experience or communication with deceased people. What seems to be happening is that when we're asleep, the body is producing kind of hallucinogenic chemicals that are creating these strange altered states of consciousness that we refer to as dreams. Now, what we know from any kind of drug trip, because dreams are essentially drug trips, is that it's tapping into your subconscious mind and pulling all that out and putting it on the surface directly in front of you. That's why when your buddy in college was tripping on shrooms, he was seeing spiders all over the place because he had a subconscious fear of spiders, and it brought them all out into the surface. Now, this is not to say that dreams are a purely mechanistic or materialistic type of situation. In fact, the mind, consciousness, all of that is multidimensional. That's why people can do things like remote viewing and locate missing objects and solve crimes and things like that, because the mind extends all over the place. And when we're dreaming, it's a facet of that multidimensional consciousness, and a lot can be going on. So dreams are also the gateway to having astral projection experiences, which is what we talk about here. And an astral experience is distinctively different from a normal experience of dreaming. But it can also be very confusing, because what's happening is we're seeing a kind of cross, the different pathways are being crossed while you're asleep. So you're both experiencing hallucinations, but you may also be experiencing memories from potentially past lives. You could be experiencing what I call astral an astral trickle-down effect. So you may be having experiences on different dimensions, and the memories of those experiences are trickling down into your physical brain, creating a lot of unusual environments and situations that you think, my imagination, my mind could have never thought that up. And the reason that you had such an elaborate, weird, crazy experience was because your mind did not think it up. This was information coming in from, quote, the other side, but then heavily diluted by the dream consciousness state and the hallucinations that come with it. So just to kind of recap again, when you're asleep, you're having hallucinations. You're having information from your subconscious being made manifest. You may be having scenarios being derived from like your higher self, which tend to be specific scenarios that maybe you're being taught a lesson. Maybe you're being taught a lesson through metaphors or symbols. This is why people do dream interpretation. Maybe you dream that it's raining, or you dream that you're being chased by a bull. Like whatever it might be, these scenarios tend to be getting created by your consciousness, maybe on a higher level, to teach you something. So this is why normal dreams are a great thing to explore. You may be experiencing possible conflicting memories from your subconscious buried deep into your higher self, into the matrix, the prism of your consciousness that are coming to the surface. This is where we go into the field of like past lives. This is why hypnotherapists can sometimes unlock past life memories. When you're asleep, you're in the same kind of theta wave state where a hypnotherapist might be able to put somebody into, and so in that state you may begin having these memories of not only parallel lives, rather not only past lives, but also parallel lives or lives of other people related to your soul group that are coming through, and you're also receiving weird experiences that way. Next, a dream might involve, as we talk about here, an astral parallel self, a life happening on the astral plane. If this is happening, then that can be the gateway to full astral projection. What an astral projector does is they are able to dismiss all of the other elements of the dream and just hone in on that singular element. And with everything else fading away, then suddenly you're in a clear state of astral projection because you've now united with that astral experience and you have the ability to fully explore that state. Now, there is the phenomenon of lucid dreaming, and so lucid dreaming is not astral projection, right? And so this is where this gets really confusing because the lucid dream can feel like astral projection, and many people misidentify the two. But here's the way to tell. If you have full mental control of your environment, then you are lucid dreaming, because lucid dreaming basically is that when you enter a mental playground, a kind of demi-plane, as I call it, where you are in charge of this whole mental universe and you can do anything that you want, where you can live out your fantasies. And some people like this a lot. And I even understand from some sources I've read that people who die sometimes choose to enter a lucid dream state indefinitely because they just want to live out all their fantasies inside of their own mind. And maybe they have a lot of pent-up fantasies and they want to experience what it's like to have Angelina Jolie as a girlfriend. And so they just live in that state. Here's why I think that's unhealthy, because when you're in the lucid dream state, you will come to find that the entities that you encounter are all manifestations of your own consciousness. And very typically, these manifestations are limited to your own experiences in life. They have nothing new to offer, and they are not sentient souls. Tom Campbell, the well-known author, has theorized that all people that we meet in astral states are not real, and that our deceased loved ones met in near-death experiences and in astral experiences are holographic projections. Now, the reason he made this mistaken claim is because he's clearly had lucid dreams where this is the case, and a lucid dream environment has the potential to confuse somebody into thinking that it's a real, solid astral condition, when it's not. If you are having real astral experiences, the people you meet, you can empathically determine are real people. You see, if you are a little bit psychic, a little bit mediumistic, a little bit empathic, when you talk to somebody in person for real, you get all that mental feedback and you feel all that energy coming off of them, and you know that it's a real person. If you're lucid dreaming, you won't feel that. If you're astral projecting, you will. And also, when you're astral projecting, the people you meet will be able to provide conscious things to say that are not within your own mind. So if you meet somebody who speaks Spanish in the astral state, they can tell words to you in Spanish that you didn't know until you look it up when you come back into your body and type it in Google. If you are lucid dreaming, they can say no more words in Spanish than those you already know. So if all they can say is per favor and hola and si, then it's a good chance that you are lucid dreaming. Now, there is one more way that this all gets cloudy and murky. You might be having an astral experience, but you're also partially dreaming at the same time. If it's not a full, crystal clear astral experience where you have felt yourself leave your body, then these two conditions may intersect, and then suddenly you will find that somebody who is real is blending with dream consciousness, and they, like I just mentioned, cannot provide objective details about their condition. So they may seem more like a dream construct because they're somewhere halfway between the two. Like they're a real person, but now your brain is interpreting them. So now they're an interpretation of somebody who's real. One last note from personal experience, I've had experiences where I keep having weird dreams in a specific location that turn to dream nonsense, like we see in the image on the screen. A bunch of nonsense happens. One time I dreamed I was in this kitchen of like this kind of underground kind of, I don't know, like a hotel or hostel or something like that, and there was a bar. And then my father showed up, and he's like intoxicated, and it's bringing back memories of my childhood, and just kind of like subconscious stuff that didn't make any sense. I woke up, got a drink of water, went back to bed, felt myself leave my body, had a full astral experience, found myself back in that kitchen, that bar, but now there were no dream constructs. My father wasn't there. Now it was a real solid place, and I had woken up in that spot in a bed, and I was basically having an experience that my parallel astral self had been having. So I merged with that consciousness and found that I was really there, and it was no longer a dream. But from the dream I had prior, we can tell that I was interpreting information from that experience, and it was becoming a dream. It's all very complicated. I'll do a lot more videos about this in the future. It takes a while to figure this stuff out, and it confuses all of us. But I'm trying to navigate this, and it's not easy. Alright, if you like this video, go down and hit the show more button on the YouTube description, and you can see links to my books, Understanding Life After Death, The Afterlife and Beyond, the Facebook group, the classes I hold twice a week about out-of-body experiences and things like that. And that's about it. I will see you guys on the next video.